Hey, oh, folks! Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. You know, the law enforcement woman who got shot in the chest by her colleague after Kelsey's uh, ex boyfriend. Well, she may or may not have known he was an ex boyfriend at the time because he made some stuff up. Well, there are plenty of others that is covering that case. I'm covering this little part of it. Her judge in a case made a remarkably stupid decision because Kelsey Fitzsimmons was out on bond. One of the conditions is test for alcohol by blowing in a tube. Kelsey Fitzsimmons was shot in the chest. She has severe injuries on her internal organs. It was painful for her. So her attorneys, hey, we need to change something because she's hurting while blowing in the tube. And the judge says, okay, then I'm going to send her to jail. Now, of course, it's longer than that. There plenty of people have covered it. It's an absolute from the judge. So they appealed it. And appeals court today came with their decision. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. This is from the docket. Notice of docket entry received from Supreme Judicial Court judgment. Following close review of the defendant's petition and appended materials, the Commonwealth's opposition and appended materials, including in a transcript of the hearing held on September 11th, 2025, and the judge's orders, this court concludes that the judge did not commit an error of law or otherwise abused her discretion. Accordingly, it is ordered that the petition be, and the same hereby is denied without a hearing. Without a hearing. In layman's speak, it wasn't even close. It was not even close. But let's go in and read the decision to see, okay, what was the justification of this? Dun, dun, dun. Oh. Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Supreme Judicial Court, Commonwealth versus Kelsey Fitzsimmons, judgment. This matter came before the court, Devar J, on the defendant's petition pursuant to GL C211, paragraph 3, filed on October 2nd, 2025. The defendant seeks relief from an order of the Essex County Superior Court dated September 11th, 2025, vacating a prior order of release. Footnote 1. I'm going to save that for you because, yeah, you will understand why. And ordering the defendant held without bail pursuant to GLC 276. The judge issued a further written order on September 16th, 2025, denying the defendant's motion for reconsideration. The Commonwealth filed an opposition to the petition on October 9th, 2025. As the Commonwealth concedes, this petition is properly before the court. See Brangan versus Commonwealth. Following close review of the defendant's petition and appended materials, the Commonwealth's opposition and appended materials, including a transcript of the hearing held on September 11th, 2025, and the judge's orders, this court concludes that the judge did not commit an error of law or otherwise abuse her discretion. So it's basically what's in the docket. Isn't that strange, folks? Isn't that strange? Now, let's because this some conduct by judges pisses me off. This is one of them. Poorly written decisions. Let's go to the footnote. Footnote. Contrary to the suggestion in the petition, the judge did not revoke the defendant's bail pursuant to GLC 276. Rather, pursuant to the last sentence of GLC 276, second par on motion of the defendant, the court reconsidered the bail order and concluded that because of a change in circumstance that had arisen, the defendant's inability to comply with intense pain with in-home scram alcohol monitoring, a condition of release that the court viewed for reasons stated in the court's order as critical to reasonably assure the safety of another person and the community if the defendant were to be released on home confinement. No condition would reasonably assure the safety of the named person and the community. As the Commonwealth notes, nothing prevents the defendant from requesting relief pursuant to the same provisions if and when the defendant can make a showing that information exists that was not known at the time of the hearing, or that there was a change in circumstances, and that such information or change in circumstances has a material bearing on the issue of whether there are conditions of release that will reasonably assure the safety of any other person or the community. Now, why am I this? When the footnote is longer than the decision, it should be a paragraph. Now, this might be nitpicky for most people, but for me, who has been doing law for over 30 years, when I see trash like this, it pisses me off. It tells me this judge doesn't care. Or at least does not care enough to write properly. So that pisses me off. Now, let's go into what Judge J. DeWar claims here. The claim is nothing prevents the defendant from requesting relief pursuant to the same provision if and when the defendant can make a showing that information exists that was not known at the time of the hearing, or that there was a change, has been a change in circumstance, and that such information or change in circumstances has a material bearing on the issue of whether there are conditions of release that will reasonably assure the safety of any other person or the community. In the September 11th hearing, the defense clearly tells the judge urine sample, other means. There are alternatives, because the motion was to just modify because she was hurting. Kelsey was hurting. That's it. And somehow the judge got so offended that she chose to throw Kelsey Fitzsimmons in jail. Kelsey is a former law enforcement officer and a former correctionals officer. Jail is a really dangerous place for her. And the claim that she is a danger to the community, my personal opinion, it's so hard. It's bullshit that no amount of medical treatment can get it this large. Okay? Even in the reconsideration, they said urine samples. There are plenty of options for this. And the judge, nah. And then the appeals court takes this poorly written, claiming the judge did not revoke the defendant's bail pursuant to GGLC 2276, paragraph 58B, rather pursuant to the last sentence of GLC 276, paragraph 58A, for second part on motion of the defendant. The court reconsidered the bail order and concluded that because of the change in circumstance that had arisen, the defendant's inability to comply without intense pain with enhanced gram, a condition of release that the court viewed for reasons stated in the court's order as critical for protect the community. This is, it's not the first poorly written decision I ever read. It's not the first time I get offended by poorly written decisions. But it all stems back to one thing. Judges protecting judges. It seems to me that appeals court, that judge, nitpicked and found, instead of looking at the whole picture, instead of looking at the facts surrounding, that appeals court judge, I found the one thing that I can say judge is in the clear, and ignore everything else. And that, folks, is the thin bar line. It's not the thin blue line, as in cops protecting cops. It's the thin bar line when judges protect judges. You have to realize that in order to get how do I explain this without getting demonetized? In order for a appeals court to tell a circuit court judge to fuck off, you did wrong, do better, or we will throw you out, it must be so outrageous conduct, which sometimes is more than beyond reasonable doubt, that they simply cannot avoid. There's nothing in there that the appeals court can say, no, we can't avoid it. The law is the law. Here, this judge found that tiniest of tiny segments and said the judge did nothing wrong, which means, sadly, Kelsey Fitzsimmons will stay in jail. And it wasn't even close. And it is disgraceful. But it is Massachusetts. And it is judges protecting judges. It also means that Kelsey Fitzsimmons' chances of getting her judge off the case are slim to none at the moment. Since her judge now got confirmation from appeals court, you did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. We have your back. It's a disgrace. But I want to leave you with this thing. All judges are politicians. All judges in the United States are politicians. If you want to change, next time there's a vote, hey, do you want to keep this judge? Vote them off. And tell them why you voted to the other person seeking the position. tell that judge, if you are in this county and you disagree with these decisions, there's one way: vote them off. Because if it's something some judges hate, it is to lose an election. Most judges wants to retire on their position. They get their flowers, they get their applause and everything. Oh, they don't want to be voted off. Even the risk of being voted off can change some judges. So that was what I had for you in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. It's a case I think I'm going to cover more going forward, because it is an injustice. And it has some twists and turns in this, with cops protecting cops, judges protecting judges. It needs more recognition. But that's what I had for you, folks. You all have a good one, and I will see you in the next stream or video. Bye-bye.